European markets are in the red, while Asian stocks are mixed following big overnight losses on Wall Street. The Dow Jones and S-and-P 500 indices were both down 1%, while the Nasdaq fell more than 1.8%. The sell-off was triggered by reports of the first case of the Omicron variant in the U.S. That's raised fears that the more infectious strain of coronavirus may already be spreading in the world's largest economy. Oil prices also fell sharply on the news but are starting to recover. That's as investors wait for OPEC to make a decision on output. Brent crude is trading at around $70 a barrel. Last month, crude was selling for as much as $86 a barrel. The U.S. Energy Department says it may slow down the release of 50 million barrels of crude from its emergency reserves if prices continue to go down.
So if the price of oil goes down significantly, if the pain at the pump that's currently being experienced by consumers around our country and around the world as well dissipates for whatever reason, then we use the tools differently than we would use if the price remains high or even goes up further along those lines.
Now for more, let's go to Craig Erlam. He's a senior market analyst at OANDA in London. Welcome to the program, Craig. Now, where do investors really stand now on the new Omicron variant and its threat to the economy? When it was first revealed that we had this new strain, there was panic in markets. Then as we learned more about maybe the symptoms being mild, there was the fear started to dissipate. So where are we now?
Well, I think what we've seen so far is pretty much seesaw markets. We've had down days followed by up days, then down days and up days. And it all really seems to depend on what little bit of information has leaked out, whether that is over the weekend, for example, with officials suggesting that the symptoms were milder, and then we had some more comments over the last couple of days, which led to markets bouncing back and then trending lower once again, like we're seeing today. I think really until we start to get some concrete information, I don't see anything changing. I think this is going to continue to be the order of the day. Depending on what the comments are, whether they're positive or negative, will dictate sentiment. And until we know we've got some more solid information, in particular around how vaccine resistant this variant is, and then how serious it is, and how ill it will potentially make people, then I think it's hard for the markets to behave in any other way. It's hard to become too optimistic, but it's also hard to become too pessimistic. Good news on the vaccine side will, I would imagine, trigger quite a strong positive response in the markets and give us that Santa rally into the end of the year. But until then, we have to just wait and be patient, and that's not necessarily something that investors are very good at.
Now, we're also seeing volatility in oil markets. That's ahead of the OPEC announcement on output later today. So what do you expect to come out of that? Is it possible that they may preemptively slow down their output increases because of the Omicron variant?
It's certainly possible. I would say it's a hard move, maybe politically, to do. That's not to say they won't do that, but I think it's a difficult one because what they have said for months is that they're willing to tolerate higher prices because they anticipate a slowdown in growth, demand growth later this year and into next year because of the possibility of spreading infections, the potential for a new variant. So it's something that had effectively been factored into their models, which is why they were happy to leave prices run a little hot for a little bit, because they knew that supply would take over and that would level prices off once again. So to say that, and then when this variant appears to then reduce their output, would be quite a politically tough move. And when you have world leaders calling for them to effectively increase output a couple of months ago because they said they were effectively being greedy and pushing the world to the edge, then like I say, it's a tough message to get around. Unfortunately, I think there are going to be some members who will be looking for such a move, especially given the SPR release from various countries a couple of weeks ago. Maybe this kind of shot back at those countries and using almost the Omicron variant as an excuse to do so. As I say, I think they'll stand pat. I think it's come too soon. I don't think they have enough information. The meeting was initially meant to take place on Tuesday. It was pushed back to Thursday to gather more information. I can't see anything that we've had since then which would give cause for changing their production levels at this stage.
Okay, Craig Erlam, Senior Market Analyst at OANDA in London. Thank you for the analysis.